if you are doing revising last, which is this part, countdown to star, but this is a revising passage, and you just got done watching the composition or the prompt video, I'm so sorry that it cut off and you didn't get to see the cool thing at the end. But I'm gonna show it to you in this video, so please be sure to stay tuned towards the end of this video. If you're just popping on and this is the first thing you do, hey, what up? Then you don't know what I'm talking about, okay? So we're gonna get started with our countdown to star. You need to make sure that this is the paper that you have, all right? I'm gonna plug my phone in so it doesn't die while we're doing this. Hold on. There we go. All right, so this is what you need to make sure that you have. It should say grade 4, series 1, composition 2. It should have a picture of Mount Rushmore right here. The title is Giants on the Mountain, and you have 5 questions here, okay? This is the first one I'm gonna walk you through. All other ones after this will be up to you. They're not going to be up to me. I'm not going to walk you through them unless they are particularly difficult. I'm just going to do this first one with you, okay? So you need to make sure that you have a pencil. You need to make sure that you have a highlighter. Fun story, my mom recently was here and she helped me like organize my house, and she hid all of the highlighters from me. So I don't know where any of my highlighters are, but I got this pen. This marker that's basically like a highlighter. So this is going to be my pencil. This is going to be your highlighter. Make sure that you have those things as well as your countdown to star, and let's get started, okay? You've got on this first page your passage, okay? Remember, I don't like it when you flip 1,000 times and you don't like it, so that's why we're here, all right? First things first, box in your intro. All right, then you're going to read your intro. It says, Megan's teacher asked her to write a report about a national memorial. Megan chose to write about Mount Rushmore. She wants you to revise her report. You're going to take your highlighter and highlight the word revise, okay? Next, if you see the word revise, you know it's going to be arm. Add, remove, or replace, and move, okay? Oops, sorry, I didn't realize y'all couldn't see that. Add, remove, replace, and move. Those are going to be the 3 kinds of questions that you are going to see on your STAR test, and those are the 3 kinds of questions that are here. So, first things first, you need to go over to your questions and you need to identify, sorry guys, this chair is very uncomfy, what question types you have. So, before you even go and read, I want you to go over here to your question types. Question number 1 says, what is the best way to combine sentences 8 and sentence 9, okay? I'm going to highlight combine. If you are combining the sentences, you're replacing them with a new one. So you're taking sentence 8 and you're taking sentence 9 and you're combining them and replacing them with a new one. I'm also going to highlight 8 and 9. And on the side, I'm going to write replace. I'm not reading the answer choices. I'm not reading the sentences. I'm just identifying the question types, okay? Next, I'm going to go to number 2. It says, what is the best way to revise sentence 14? I know that that one is hard because it says revise, but what it wants you to do is to replace sentence 14 with a sentence that is worded better. Okay, I know that's hard, but it wants you to take the original sentence 14 out and put in a new sentence that is going to be better. So that is why remove and replace are often together, because you're removing something and replacing it. That wasn't a connection I've made until recently. So see, you can learn something new every day. All right, am I reading the answer choices yet? No, I'm not. I'm just going through and answering, finding the answer choices or finding my keywords here. All right, guys? Next I have which transition phrase could best be added to the beginning of sentence 17? That one's easy. Sentence 17 and added. So we know we are adding a transition word. So on the side here, you're going to write add. Okay. Next we have number 4. Megan would like to add the following detail to paragraph 4, which is sentences 16 through 21. It says, Borglum's, which is a weird name, son finished the monument later that year. Where should she insert this sentence? You should highlight the word add and you should highlight the word insert. And then you're going to write, guess what? Add. Okay? We haven't read answer choices yet. We're just reading the questions. Last question is number 5. Megan wants to add a closing sentence to her report. Which sentence could best follow, that means go after, sentence 23. So I want you to highlight add a closing. That is like our central idea or our closing, our conclusion on our prompt. That last part right here. See? Closing / restating your idea. All right, it wants to follow sentence 23, so you need to highlight add a closing because that closing part is very important, and you also need to highlight follow sentence 23. Okay, on the side you're going to write, sorry guys, I'm going to write it down at the below, add conclusion. Okay. After you've done this, you've gone through each answer. Guys, I'm tired. It's like 11:30 and my brain is mush. After you've gone through each question and added your keyword for add, remove, replace, and move, you are now going to read the passage. Replace, add, okay? Unfortunately, these add questions are going to be the ones that give you the hardest time, but we're going to do them together, all right? Your next step that you have to do independently, whether you get accommodations or not, meaning if you test on the computer or not, you have to read this part on your own. I'm not reading it to you. It's something that you have to do on your own, okay? So pause this video, read this part, and when you're ready, come back to me, okay? Okay, by this point you should have read your passage. All right, we're now going to answer number 1. It says, what is the best way to combine sentence 8 and 9? So I'm going to go over to sentence 8 and 9, read them, and decide what would be the best way to do it. But before I do that, you shouldn't even be going over there yet. Don't do it. You're going to highlight, you're going to circle all the things that are different. You know what? I don't like this marker. It's too fat. Hold on, I need a pen. I found a pen. Okay, now I'm ready. Comma, and can y'all even see that? Yeah, okay. Comma, though. Period, 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 capital, 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 capital. Okay? If you see a comma, you should know that it either needs to be a complex sentence at the beginning, starting with an awubis. So an after all, though, as, when, while, until, because, before, if, since. If it doesn't start with any of these openers, it's not a complex sentence. Okay, so that means you need to check after the comma for a fanboy. That would be for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. Okay, if you did what you were supposed to and you circled all of the things that were different in each of those sentences, you can automatically make this question a 50-50. How, Miss Keenan? There's a comma here, but that's not a fanboy, so therefore it's not a compound sentence. There's a comma here, but though is not a fanboy, so that's not a compound sentence. And I haven't even read them yet. This test is beatable. Yes, that's a word. If you follow your strategies I teach you, people. Listen, okay? Next, I'm going to go over to sentence 8 and 9, and I'm going to highlight them. It was made of granite. The face of the mountain received a lot of sunlight during the day. Okay? In order to decide which one of these fanboys I need to use, I need to read the sentence before and the sentence after. I have but here, and I have and here. Okay? And is going to be give more information. So I want you to write that. Give more info. Okay? But I believe is comparing. I don't know. If I'm wrong, look back at the anchor chart and fix it, but I'm pretty sure it's comparing just off the top of my head. Okay? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to read this whole paragraph before I decide which one it is. The sculpture was started by a man named Borglum. He liked the location of Mount Rushmore for 2 reasons. It was made of granite. The face of the mountain received a lot of sunlight during the day. What that tells me is right here, it's saying he liked the mountain for 2 reasons. So it's going to give me 2 reasons. This plus that. So if it's giving me this plus that, it is not comparing. What it is doing is giving me more information. It's saying he liked it for this reason and he liked it for that reason. If I were to give you a simpler sentence, I would say, I like lunch for 2 reasons, because I get to have a tasty drink with my meal, like Dr. Pepper, and I get to have a tasty meal. Okay, I'm telling you the 2 reasons I like it. All right, I'm going to cross out A because I know I'm not comparing anything. I'm simply being given more information. All right, he said he liked the mountain for 2 reasons. They're made of granite, and it received a lot of sunlight in the day. Okay, it was giving me more information. Next, I'm going to go on to number 2. What is the best way to revise sentence 14? First things first. You should go through and guess what? Circle everything that's different. Okay? Period, 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 period. All right? And I'm going to go over to sentence 14. Originally, let me get my highlighter. It's on my highlighter. Originally, the face of Jefferson was supposed to be to the right of Washington, but not to the left of Washington. I don't understand what that sentence means, so I'm going to read it one more time. Originally, the face of Jefferson was supposed to be to the right of Washington, but not to the left of Washington. I believe it's this word but that's messing us up here. We don't need a comma but because we're not comparing. We would want to say originally the face of Jefferson was supposed to be to the right of Washington, not to the left of Washington. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to cross out that but because I don't think that makes sense there. It confuses me and I don't like it. Okay? I'm going to come over here and I'm going to read each answer choice and decide which best matches my newly revised sentence, which says, originally the face of Jefferson was supposed to be to the right of Washington, not to the left of Washington. Okay? So F says, originally the face of Washington, officially the face of Jefferson was supposed to be to the right of Washington. Cool. We need to make sure that it gets 2 parts of this sentence. We still have to include supposed to be to the right, so make sure you underline that, and not to the left. So 1, 2. Those are the 2 things we need in the sentence to have it make sense, okay? So I need to go back over here to my sentence and find out. It says, originally the face of Jefferson was supposed to be to the right. Does it have the first one? Yes. Does it have the second one? No. So I'm going to put a check for 1 and an X for 2. I'm going to cross that out because I need to have 2 checks. In the next one says, originally the face of Jefferson and Washington were mixed up left and right. Okay. Well, it does have left, which is what we need here. It's supposed to be to the right. And it does have right, which is what we're supposed to have here. So I don't know. It's possible. Originally, the faces of Jefferson and Washington were mixed up. So I'm going to underline that mixed up word because that's not part of our sentence, but it does include the left and the right. So I'm just going to put a dot by it because I think that might be it. Okay? But what I think might need to happen is that I need to go back and read the whole paragraph to make sure that I've got this right, that I'm not missing any information. Okay? Borglum started the sculpture in 1927. His workers used dynamite to remove most of the granite. Smaller tools were used to create the details of the president's faces. The face of Washington was carved first. Originally, the face of Jefferson was supposed to be to the right of Washington, not to the left of Washington. The stone there was not strong enough, so they moved his face to the left. Okay? All right. So now I'm going to go back over here. Originally, the face of Washington was where the face of Jefferson could not be. Okay? We're not talking about where it can and it can't be. We're talking about the location of the face. His face should have been on the right, not the left. Okay? So that's telling me it's possible they could have got mixed up. I don't have a right, which is what I need here. And I don't have a left. So I'm marking an X1, X2, and I'm going to cross that out. Next it says, originally the faces of Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Lincoln were changed. We're not talking about the location of all of these other faces. The only 2 faces we're talking about were Washington and Jefferson. Okay? We still need to have, it's supposed to be on the right, 1. It's supposed to be on the left, 2. And we are only talking about Jefferson and Washington. We're not talking about Roosevelt and Lincoln. Plus, we don't have his location on the right, and we don't have his location on the left. So that can't possibly be it. Because we still need to have the left and the right as included in the original sentence. Okay? Even though it didn't speak of being mixed up in this sentence, it did discuss it in context clues within the paragraph. It was saying Washington's face was carved first. Originally, Jefferson was supposed to be on the right of Washington, not to the left. The stone was not strong enough, so they moved his face to the left. Okay? So meaning they were like this, and then they mixed them up, and they were changed. All right. Question number 3. Which transition phrase could best be added to sentence 17? Remember when we did this practice on transition words, you have to go to sentence 17 and read the sentence before it to find out what transition word needs to go best there. So I'm going to add 16 to this so that I know that I need to read sentence 16 and sentence 17. And I'm going to highlight both of those. It says, Borglum encountered other problems too. During the carving part, Jefferson's lip fell off and had to be reconfigured, meaning it had to be put back on. Okay? So it's saying he had many problems. If I were to tell you a problem that I had, if I were to give you an example of a problem that I've had tonight, while I was making this video, my phone died. For example, a problem I have is my phone died, okay? It's saying he had a problem. The problem he had was Jefferson's lip fell off. He's giving us an example of his problem here. So we need to find something that resembles that. In the meantime, what does in the meantime mean? Well, it means to wait, okay? So let's put wait here. comma. Borglum encountered other problems too. Wait, during the carving, part of Jefferson's lip fell off and had to be reconfigured. Does that make sense? No, we don't need to wait for anything, okay? Next, let's try for example. You should be writing them just as I am. For example. Okay, let me take a drink of water. Hold on. Okay. Borglum encountered other problems too. For example, during the carving, part of Jefferson's lip fell off and had to be reconfigured. I think that could work because, like I said earlier, it told you here his problem, and then it gave you an example here. Jefferson's lip fell off. So I'm going to put a dot by this because I think it could be it. C, on the other hand, when you see on the other hand, it's giving you two choices. You can either have spaghetti, or on the other hand, you can have pasta, or you can have pizza. Okay? Come over here and write on the, I'm going to cross out wait so it doesn't confuse me, other hand. Borglum encountered other problems too. On the other hand, during the carving, part of Jefferson's lip fell off and had to be reconfigured. That doesn't make sense. We're not saying this to that. We're not comparing it. Okay? Your last one is in other words. That is going to be giving you a different way to say it. Okay? It's just rewording something is what in other words means. So I'm going to come over here and once again cross that out so I don't get confused. And I'm going to write in other words. Okay? And I'm going to reread the sentence with that in it. Borglum encountered other problems too. In other words, during the carving, part of Jefferson's lip fell off and had to be reconfigured. It's possible that that one could work, but it is not the best answer choice. When it says in other words, I did say that that means that they're just restating it in another way. Sure, fine. They're saying, here's this problem. In other words, here's this problem. They're trying to reword his problem to a specific example. But if you're going to go so far as to say the word example, you need to actually have the transition word, guess what? For example. Okay? Like I said, while in other words might be a good choice, it is not the best choice. Okay? Whew. Y'all catching up with me? Pause it if you need to. Number 4, Megan would like to add the following detail to paragraph 4, sentences 16 through 21. Where should Megan insert this sentence? I'm going to highlight paragraph 4 because I didn't do that. Okay, it's sentences 16 through 21. Instead of highlighting the whole dadgum thing, I'm just going to put boxes around it like this. Before I read this, I need to find out what the topic of this sentence to be added is. It says, Borglum's son finished the monument later that year. What is the topic of that sentence? Finishing the monument. Finishing the monument later. Okay? Borglum's son finished the monument a year later. What I'm going to do now is come over here to my paragraph and find out which sentence has the same topic as finishing the monument later, okay? Because remember, whenever you add a sentence, they have to have the same topic. Borglum encountered other problems too. During the carving part, Jefferson's lip fell off and had to be reconfigured. The sculptures were also supposed to show the presidents from the tops of their heads all the way to their waists, but there wasn't enough money to pay the workers to do this. Borglum and his workers solved most problems, though. Unfortunately, Borglum died 14 years after the sculpture was started. He did not get to see his finished work. Okay? If we are talking about Borglum, the guy who made this, he didn't get to see it. He died 14 years after the sculpture was started. We would need to find out where would be the best place to put this? Okay, let's go to this first one right here. After sentence 16. Borglum encountered other problems too. What's the topic of that sentence? Put a box around problems. Is this sentence about problems? No. Cross it out. Next, we're going to go on to sentence 17. We've already done this part because you did it in sentence 3. What was sentence 17 about? Giving you an example of how he encountered some problems. Jefferson's daggum lip fell off. So cross it out. Okay? After sentence 21, he did not get to see the finished work. Okay? I think, even though it doesn't mention finishing the monument later, it does make the most sense there because it's talking about when the monument is finished. Okay? After sentence 21 would probably be the best spot because it's saying he did not get to see the finished work. Borglum's son finished the monument later that year. Okay? It's talking about when he finished. Look, there's the word finished. Here's the word finished. Remember that it has to have the same topic. Even though it continues on here to say monument later, the topic of both of them is finished work. Okay? So I'm going to put a dot by this. And we did decide that it needs to be added, so sentence 21 is where it should be added after that. Okay? We're on the home stretch. I'm so tired. Next, I need to answer our last question to add a conclusion. It says Megan wants to add a closing to this sentence. Megan wants to add a closing sentence to her report. Which sentence could best follow sentence 23? So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to read the entire paragraph. I'm not just going to read sentence 23. I'm going to highlight sentence 23 because that's what it wants me to look at, but I'm going to read the whole paragraph. More than 2 million people, let me say that again. More than 2 million people visit the memorial each year. Mount Rushmore is South Dakota's biggest tourist attraction. Okay? It wants you to choose a sentence that would be the best ending for it. I'm going to read the answer choices and explain each one as I go. A says, and this is the end of my report on Mount Rushmore and its construction. B, too bad Borglum died because he can't even visit Mount Rushmore. C, Jefferson's lip falling off was the most interesting thing I learned. D, after gazing up at this magnificent memorial, you can see why it is truly a mountain of giants. Okay. I know that in our writing, we would typically write a conclusion sentence like A, and this is the end of my report on Mount Rushmore and its construction. You do not want to say, and this is the end. The end. It's done. It's over. If you add that, people are going to think that you don't know how to write a conclusion. You would put something like we did in our composition. As you can see, finally, okay, cross that out. They put that in there to trick you. Whenever you are adding a sentence, you need to make sure it has the same topic. Wow. Okay? Same topic. I'm going to come over here and find out what the topic is of this. Mount Rushmore is South Dakota's biggest tourist attraction, meaning that's where most people come in South Dakota. That's the thing they come to see the most. Okay? Too bad Borglum died because he can't even visit Mount Rushmore. Was this sentence about the old dude dying? No! Cross it out. We don't care that the old dude died. Okay? Let's go back to sentence 23. What was it about? It's the fact that it's the biggest tourist attraction. Is it about Jefferson's lip falling off? No. And before you even read D, you had the answer. After gazing up at this magnificent memorial, you can see why it is truly a mountain of giants. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Miss Keenan, it doesn't have the same topic. I know that. But when you add a conclusion, it is the best way to wrap up your whole entire passage, okay? The best place here is after gazing up at this magnificent memorial. It's referring to Mount Rushmore, which is technically the memorial here, okay? Even if you could not accurately justify answer choice D here, it is the best answer choice for it because it is referencing the memorial itself. Okay, I know that what we did was just a lot and you're probably tired of hearing me talk, but I promised you that I would show you the cool thing in my house. So here we go, okay? In my house, I have this really cool coffee wall, okay? I have 1,000 million coffee cups. I've got the poison apple from Snow White. I've got a Espresso Patronum one, which is a Harry Potter reference. This cool little robot. Louise from Bob's Burgers, if y'all watch that. This cool little cauldron. Here's the tiny chef. I'll probably just start doing daily happies of him. If y'all have seen Beauty and the Beast and Chip, I have an actual Chip cup. Got this from A Christmas Story, if you've ever seen that movie. This is a cow. This is my favorite cup. I want to show you all this actually. Okay, this coffee cup is actually, it's a coffee cup. This coffee cup is actually Thor's hammer. It says, whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. It's in like rocks and it's got his handle and it even has his little symbol on the back. So that one's my favorite mug of all. Then I've got, this one's a Harry Potter one as well. Also Harry Potter. You can't see that one because it only turns colors when you put hot stuff in it, but also Harry Potter. And then just some other ones that y'all don't really know of. But if y'all thought that was a lot, oh, this is the coffee cup I'm drinking out of tomorrow. It's Thanos, and it's got his little infinity gauntlet. Anyways, here's all my other coffee cups in here. There's like 1,000 million of them. So, as you can see, I really like to drink coffee. It's a little extra. Okay, guys, thanks for sticking with the video for this far. I love you guys, and I will see y'all later.